Well, on today's episode of Financially Fierce, we are coming to you live from South by Southwest, and I have a wonderful guest who I'm going to interview, and you are Brian Oakley. Welcome.
Thank you.
Dr. Brian Oakley.
Technically,
yeah.
doctor,
Let's use the official proper title. You have been unfortunate enough to have to deal with me twice this week. We did a panel earlier this week.
It was awesome.
It was awesome. If I can say that, I will. We're going to kind of do a bit of an extension on that because you are a neuroscientist.
Yep.
You work in finance all around gamification and money.
Yep.
And today we're going to dive deeper into how do we get more connected with our money when it's online? How do people like yourselves build products that help us connect with our goals and stay on track with our money? We're going to talk neuroscience, brain stuff, which for everyone who listens to Financially Fierce is like my ultimate love and my pretend secret hobby.
You should do it.
Oh, I want to come back in my next life as a neuroscientist. I don't know if I'm
Why not this life?
I don't know if I'm smart enough to come back in this life.
Well, I mean, it was. I wanted to do psychology, and they were like, "You can't do psychology," so neuroscience was the backup option. And honestly, they're desperate for people. There's not enough people who want to do it. I think people are intimidated.
I love that they're like, no, you can't do psychology, but you can become a neuroscientist. That seems wild to me. Okay, so today we are talking all things the brain, human, money, online spending, how we can do it better. I can't wait to dive deeper into today's episode. Thank you for being here. Everyone who is listening, you are in fine company. If you can hear all the background noise, that is because there are a lot of people rocking around. If you're watching this online, you'll see that we are right in the middle of a hallway at the ICC. Ready to do it?
Yeah, let's do it.
This is a podcast for everyone that wants to learn how to make fierce and bold choices with their money. We'll talk about how to shape your money mindset, investing for your future, your spending habits, the good and the bad, plus how to achieve your financial goals, and most of all, how to be financially fierce. I'm a financial educator and I want to empower you to be more in control of your money and build the financial future that you want. I run the Greenhouse Money Growing Program, and you can find details of that in the podcast show notes. My name is Jessica Brady. It's time to get financially fierce.
Brian, I've done a terrible job of doing your background, so why don't we get you to do it? Because I think that you will do a much better job. So why don't you tell our listeners a little bit more about you, what you do from a work sense, but if you're comfortable, I'd also love for you to tell us a little bit more about your story with money.
I was a neuroscientist. COVID happened, decided to pivot into tech, which is how I found myself working at Up.
Yeah.
And it was really fortunate because, I mean, I guess, let me go back a little bit. I grew up in rural Victoria, so didn't really have many good financial role models. But I was really, really obsessed with video games. And so I think in a way, you learn a little bit of resource management just through playing a lot of video games. Yeah, and so now working it up, it's really kind of all of those different aspects of my background have sort of come together really well because neuroscience and psychology that I studied really helps me in my work with the designers to build features that help people, build those healthy money habits. And also the whole team is like a bunch of nerds who play a lot of video games. We have a whole cart analytics set up at work, and we play way too much Mario Kart. And so, yeah, it's like that combination of video games, like neuroscience, and also just having that experience of like not knowing how to manage my own money and making all the usual mistakes that young people make. I just feel really fortunate to be able to, build tools that maybe help people avoid making those same mistakes.
Yes.
Yeah.
I feel like you're in your perfect job.
Feels like that a little bit.
Feels like an intersection of everything that you love.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Very cool. So let's kind of call out the elephant in the room. Spending money with a card, like whether we're tapping or using our phone or our watch, or I don't even know what you can. I'm sure you can tap with many other things now.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if they're doing like microchips in bodies yet or whatever to pay.
Like little wristbands.
Oh, I've seen coffee cups. I've seen the top of coffee cups. Why does spending in that way feel really different to spending with cold, hard cash?
When you're tapping your card or your phone or something, you get the feedback, you get that little ding, but you're not really like handing anything over. and regardless of the amount that you're tapping, it's the same experience.
Yeah.
So even though sort of in your head, this amount of money has left my account, you don't really feel it. Like, it's not as tangible versus, like, say having a $50 note that you've just got out of the ATM, and then you're like literally giving it to someone.
Yes.
This is something sort of your lizard brain almost, like, it's different.
Yes. We connect with that. The word you used there was like losing something. And I think that is true. Like, from what I understand as my pretend neuroscientist, research will tell me.
Yep.
You get pain receptors light up in your brain when you hand over physical cash. Like, your brain literally hurts. It hurts to give up money, like cold hard cash.
Yeah. I mean, it's technically not the pain receptors.
Okay, you tell me more. Say more.
But it's but it is something like that. Yeah, there is something. There is like a signal. We have loss aversion, and
yes.
It's not just humans who have this. Like, animals have this.
Yes.
Like, imagine like a squirrel with its acorns or whatever. You have things that have value, and naturally you don't want to lose those things.
Yes.
And when it's cash, you get that that feeling of loss because you're handing something over and they're taking it away, and your pocket is lighter, like your wallet's lighter.
Yeah.
And it's just not the same with tapping your card. Even if like we feel like we should know at a sort of consciously that money is leaving. It's still money, but we've just sort of abstracted it. Yeah,
I love to think that we're all like these intellectual beasts that are like, okay, I can rationally understand that it's the same thing, but exactly to your point, it's like we're all just like, we are like lizards, aren't we? We just haven't evolved as much.
Monkeys.
Yeah. And then the other thing is when we use credit cards, I've seen research, I think from the US, that basically says, I'm going to get the part of the brain wrong again, but basically the part of the brain that connects when we're doing things like gambling ignite as well. So our brain almost doesn't see spending money on a credit card like spending our money at all.
Yeah, it's like there's this concept called like psychological distance, which is sort of how sort of close something feels, not just physically. So like in terms of cash, like that's the really sort of close, tangible thing.
Yeah.
Paying with your card has got more psychological distance, and then paying with credits even more, because psychological distance isn't just the physical distance, it's like time, like temporal distance. And so now when you're paying with credit card, like you don't even have that thought of like, hey, money's leaving my account, because it's not. Nothing's really happening. You're paying for something with future money. Like, it'll come out of your account at some point. But just the further away it is, like in terms of psychological distance, you just react to it differently. You end up being a little bit less sort of mindful maybe about like how you're spending it. You can become a little bit like frivolous with it, like I'll just tap this, I'll tap that. It's like future me will deal with that, and then however long later,
Current
your future
you.
self is like, what the fuck? What did I do?
Yes.
Sorry, can I swear?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
Oh, you're new here. Yes, you're in fine company. Do not worry about that at all. But it's so true. And it's like we create these psychological barriers and distances to connect to our money. But my question is, so what does that actually mean? Like, should we just all go back to cash forever for everything? Are we going to have those little envelopes that our grandparents used to have?
I don't know about that. I personally, I live the sort of wallet-free lifestyle. I've got one of those little magnetic wallets stick on the back of my phone. And I don't really want to go back to cash. I don't want to be carrying that around. But yeah, you do lose some. Like, it's a trade-off, right? Like, we're sort of accepting sort of more psychological distance, which kind of decreases our awareness of our spending in some ways. We're accepting that in exchange for the convenience of digital payments, because they are genuinely really convenient.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can literally take your coffee cup that we were just talking about, your keys, go and pay for your coffee with your coffee cup, and then just walk away. Like, that is wild.
Well, I think I went to the beach a little while ago. I could leave my phone in the Airbnb.
Yeah.
And I just had my watch on because, if you go and swim or whatever, I don't have that anxiety of like, I've left valuable stuff on the beach, like unattended. But it also meant that I still had a way to like, go buy food, get a drink or whatever, just tap my watch. So there are just these conveniences that you don't get with cash. But I think if you're not careful, you can just end up, losing visibility, like losing awareness of what your spending is like.
And soon I want to come into how I think marketing and consumer, how brands are kind of predatory in that behavior. But before we get there, I think something really interesting came up on the panel that we were on earlier this week, which was this idea that going virtual or cashless or whatever the hell we want to call it makes money more invisible. But actually what we talked about on the panel was actually it's more visible because there's an audit trail. There's, a lot of opportunity for us to go back and review our spending, to look at categorization of spending through the apps. The challenge is most people don't do that.
Yeah, it's like it's invisible with an asterisk.
Yeah, it's like the tangible versus the visibility, I think, is what we decided was important to understand the difference between.
I think when you're paying with cash, you have no choice but to accept, like to sort of see that you've lost something. When you're paying with card, it can be tempting just to not look at your bank. I know for, when I was younger, there was a pretty big period of my life where I would dread opening up my banking app because I specifically just didn't want to see what was going on in there.
I think that's most people, yes.
Yeah. I think it's a very common experience. And so, like when payments went digital, there technically is an audit trail. There's more data there.
Yes.
You can, like, depending on the app you're using or the bank you're using, you could have like spending insights and like sort of categorization and all of this data that is way more rich than you would ever get with cash because no one's like writing everything,
Yes. Except my grandfather, he was crazy with that stuff, but he's the weird exception that we always laugh at.
I think.
Oh yeah. If you would like ledgers of how much petrol cost every week in rural New Zealand for like the last 30 years, I'm pretty sure my grandmother still has it, but like that is so rare.
It's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work.
But so I think it could be. I think digital payments can be. You can be more aware. You can have a lot more information. It's just that you now have to kind of be actively sort of looking at it.
Yes.
And a lot of people just don't. Like, it's very easy to ignore it.
This feels like such a paradox to me because cash gives us this sense that, holy shit, we're actually swapping or losing something. There's huge benefit there. But simultaneously, the insights that you could get, should you choose to engage with them by using online payments, could be really valuable. The problem is people do not want to go and do that reviewing. And so I'm like, this is a contradictory... This is confusing.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just confusing for me, but I'm like, oh, this is a hard thing to grapple with. I'm like, what do we do? How do we fix this? Like, is there is there a way that we can spend virtually and still have that feeling of like loss aversion? Is there a way that we can psychologically do? Am I asking our brains to evolve really quickly, or is there a way that this can happen?
I think there are tools like,
I
mean, the great thing about software is it's kind of magic. Like you can kind of do whatever you want with it. And so if you just have the right tools or the right sort of systems in place to sort of kind of force that awareness, then you can keep it visible. You can make it really visible. And like, I think the most obvious one for me, and it's something that, as a user, I'm an upsider.
What does that mean?
A customer of who uses Up as their bank.
Yeah.
Very quickly get used to the fact that when we pay, if you pay for something with Up, you get a little notification saying, hey, you just spent this much money at this place and this is how much money is left in your account. And a lot of banks are doing this now, but not all of them. And that just to me is like such a low hanging fruit for like maintaining that like some amount of awareness of your spending when you're paying digitally. It's not exactly the same, but it does still at least keep you aware of like that really important reference point of like, well, this is how much money you have left in your account. Because I just remember having that experience like back in the day of, not looking at my bank, head in the sand, head in the sand. I don't want to see it. I'm just tapping my card, and at some point I'll like tap, and it's like declined, and I'm like looking at the person, and I'm just like so embarrassed. And it's like, but it'll happen all the time because of course it does. I'm not looking at how much I have left in the account. I'm not keeping that sort of reference point in mind.
Whereas this is forcing that visibility.
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, and you can still look at it, so it's not perfect, but it's better than nothing.
Yeah, it's also hard though because it's after the fact. And so I wonder for many how much awareness it brings and changes for future instances, or whether it actually guilt. You know, once that notification is like, oh, Jesus, I got spendy again last night. You know, I think that that's an interesting thing to ponder in terms of, does that guilt then help people make those, you know, big decisions around reflection and behavioral change and, you know, deep digging of insights? Most of the time we are just trying to like run away from our thoughts and not have to deal with them. But it's really hard as well because like you don't, as a bank, you guys aren't, well, maybe everyone's watching, but like you don't know before someone's trying to buy whether to give them that little pop-up, right? So it happens after the fact.
Yeah, that's true. Although we do have other things in place to sort of like, so the notification's one thing, and I personally think that every bank should do this. Like it's so easy, just send a notification. But like to go sort of the next level,
yes.
You know, on iPhone, Android, like you can have widgets on, like even on your lock screen, that like does this, where you can add little widgets that show your balance, sort of whatever your current balance is, so it's always front and center. So even before you make that purchase, I can just like take a quick peek at my phone. I'm like, oh, that's how much I have in there. I can do this without getting that awkward sort of decline transaction.
Scurrying out of a store.
Honestly, that's like I just really don't want to. It's so embarrassing.
No one wants that. No one wants that. Yes.
No one wants that.
So there are ways to bring in some of the things that we like about physical money in an online world.
Yeah, I think so.
I'm keen to dive deeper after the break. Let's talk about how you are, because you are a data scientist as well. I don't know if we've actually said that just yet. How you are helping people through gamification to help them save, invest, and think differently about money. I also am keen to pick your brains after the break around how does this work, or what should we think about if we have children who are likely to grow up in a cashless society? I would really be keen for your insights on that, and basically anything else that I can throw at you, given I've got a neuroscientist on the app. This is like my dream. So hang around after the break. We will go into those in more detail.
If you're after personal financial advice, don't get it from a podcast. If you would like help based on your own personal situation, head over to moneypodcast.com.au, click Get Help, and we'd be happy to introduce you to one of our trusted professionals. Our panel of vetted financial advisors and mortgage brokers work with people all over Australia so they can connect with you wherever you are. That's moneypodcast.com.au and click Get Help.
Okay, so let's sort of talk about this gamification piece. You blew my mind the other day when you were talking about how this whole like games world and how you can buy things to like differentiate, you know, yourself. And we went down a whole rabbit hole, which I'm not sure we should do because I'm so fascinated that I could pick your brains on it for ages. But, you know, gamification is here when it comes to spending, when it comes to playing games, when it comes to, you said a really good example around Duolingo and how, you know, someone is looking for a particular outcome, which is probably learning a language, thus goes on Duolingo, and they've done a really great job of creating a really fun experience to nudge people to have an outcome that they want.
Yeah.
But from that panel the other day, I asked the room how many people are still with the bank that was their very first bank. And I don't know if you remember, it was like definitely over 50%, maybe closer to 70% of the room. Like there's such bizarre loyalty.
Banks are super sticky.
So sticky. And yet most people don't enjoy them. Like they don't enjoy their experience, but they also don't leave. It's a weird, I don't understand it. But how...
I think it's getting better though.
I think it's getting better as stuff's getting easier to move from one to the other. But like, how are you thinking about using the concepts of gamification to help people have better behavioral habits with money?
Yeah, I mean, like, to me, gamification is like kind of, people talk about it a lot, but the examples that we see out there are often sort of used, I don't want to say for evil, but they're used for evil.
They are. No. Let's call that. They are. To part with money.
Yes. Exactly. To
it's
sort
nefarious,
of extract like money out of the user. And like, you know, I love video games, and I think the magic of a video game is that you're put into a situation where you've got this set of rules that can sort of shape your behavior. Like you sort of play in this world, and you can often get really sort of like sucked in, addicted to them. Honestly, there's a little bit of an addictive aspect to games.
Yeah.
Which is why when they're used for things like for apps that want to get you to spend more money.
Yes.
Or just like keep purchasing, like
keep
maximizing.
scrolling.
Or keep scrolling. Yeah. Any of these things where it's to the benefit of the creator of the app. Like they want you to do something, so they'll use gamification sort of principles to nudge your behavior in that way. But often the thing that they want you to do, and the thing that they're sort of like maximizing, is not the thing that you as the user want. Like I'll watch reels a lot, like probably too much.
Same.
I don't want to, but
I want to watch the dog ones. The dog ones I'm about. The other ones
there
not
are
so
some
much.
good. There are certain genres that I'm there for, but like in general, I want to look at this thing less. But
Yes.
I can tell that they've got a lot of smart people behind the scenes who have built this product in such a way that it's really just encouraging me to do it more and more and more.
Yes.
But I think that there are examples of apps that are doing it the right way, where they're using gamification for things that the user actually wants.
Yes.
Like Duolingo,
Yes.
like Brilliant, like
What was the second one?
Brilliant. It's imagine Duolingo, but instead of learning a language, you're practicing your maths, science, data,
Cool.
like computer science stuff. It's really cool, actually. If you want to just like stay sort of like sharp, it's like that.
Become
really cool.
sharp? What if you want to become sharp? Should I use it for that?
Yeah, you could.
Okay.
You could.
Adds to the list. Yes.
Yeah, like if you're using Duolingo, you want to learn a language, and the creators of Duolingo want you to learn the language.
So there's alignment there.
Yeah, exactly. Like I think, and that's where gamification can really shine.
And so, I was saying to you before we started this episode, I was looking into some of the features, and this is genuinely not sponsored by Up. I'm not a customer of Up, but I was looking at some of the things that you've been doing, and it was very different to what I had seen from any other bank. And we were actually just having a conversation with someone who is a user of Up and who was showing us in real time sort of some of the features and ways that they were engaging with their Up bank, that I was like, oh my gosh, this is like moving, and it's got like smiley faces, and it's showing you the implication of taking money out, which actually changed their decision.
Yeah.
Like that is starting to happen, and it's exciting. So congrats. I'm assuming you worked with the team on that sort of stuff.
I mean, like on some of that stuff for sure. Like the particles, they've been there since like.
What are they for everyone who has no idea?
So in this, if you create a savings account, we have this like little pool.
Yeah.
Of like little dots that sort of like, as you tilt your phone.
Oh, they were the ones that were
swish
moving around. Yes, I did see that.
And that they actually represent the amount of money that's in there. So if you're depositing money into the saver, it'll pour in more particles and sort of fill up towards your goal. And if you withdraw, they'll disappear.
It's like your energy level on a game.
Sort of. It's
I don't know. I don't game a lot.
I can tell. Sorry.
I did get a Nintendo 64 when I was younger, and my brothers stole it off me and played like Bandicoot. What was it? Crash Bandicoot.
That was. Yeah,
GoldenEye.
Crash Bandicoot. That's PlayStation. That's PlayStation exclusive. Sorry.
Obviously, I've got absolutely no idea what I'm talking about.
That's right.
So,
but yeah, like
it's similar concepts.
It brings in like a little bit of a tangible sort of thing to your savings. Like you can sort of see the volume of them, and you can see it grow, and you can see it shrink.
Yes.
As you're changing it. In terms of gamification stuff, like we actually have like a game sort of in the app. It's a version of a savings account that is like maybe the most gamified thing we have in there, called Save Up 1000. It's like a challenge.
Oh yeah.
It's like a year-long challenge.
Yeah.
And it was kind of like you create it, and every week you have to choose an amount to save.
Yes.
And the sort of the gameplay comes in the sense that you have these certain amounts you can choose. You can only choose one per week, and when you choose an amount, you can't choose it again. And that forces you to kind of like think about your cash flow over the next few weeks and be like, well, actually, I'm not going to have much money in the next few weeks. So I'm going to choose the big amount this week so that I can choose the smaller amounts next week. And as you're saving throughout the year, your money, the money's growing, but you actually can't withdraw from it. If you want to take money out of this account, you have to start all over again. Which is sort of where
boom, boom, boom.
Yeah, it's like
is that the dead noise in the game?
I mean, maybe.
Yeah, sure. Mm-hmm.
We should put a sound in there. That'd be pretty cool.
You can say I offered that insight. There you go.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Can we use that sound?
Yeah,
we have it.
Yeah, we'll make that available to you.
Hell yeah. But yeah, like so there's loss aversion, but in the sense of like not losing money, the loss is losing your progress.
Yes.
Because we're visualizing your progress in
Yes.
this challenge over the course of the year. There's a very steep like curve of like the further in the challenge you are, the probability of you actually leaving decreases significantly, which is typical of pretty much any video game. Like the further in, it's almost like a little bit of a sunk cost.
I can't give up now. Yes.
Yeah.
Sure.
But we're doing it in the sense that like your goal is to save up $1,000. Our goal is for you to save up $1,000.
Yeah.
And so we're using these like little psychological tricks to sort of keep you in that challenge.
It's the aligned mission.
Yeah.
To your point before, like Duolingo aligned mission. They have that streak that, you know, you don't want to lose your streak. I've had friends message me like with photos in a bathroom going, oh my God, I'm at a work event, but I cannot lose my Duolingo streak. So I'm doing it in the bathroom. I'm like, that is hilarious. But there's again, that aligned mission. But when you look at how people are using or tapping into psychological insights to get you to part with money, that is the overwhelming majority of what we're seeing. So it's really exciting that you've got this gamification that's in there. And I can imagine that people are then understanding like, I don't want to buy this thing because I'm on a streak. I can't start again. I'm like 200 days into my 1 year challenge.
Yeah.
Maybe I need to rethink buying this thing.
Yeah. And even if you didn't want to do this 1 year challenge, you can take some of those aspects and attach them to a regular saver. Like you can create a savings account and we let you sort of lock it.
Yeah.
And when you lock it, there's this sort of animation of a big vault door shutting.
Oh,
and
yeah.
You actually nominate like a mate of yours who's also an upsider. You say like, hey, if I need to unlock this, you can unlock it for me.
Oh, accountability.
I love
this.
a bit of a social accountability there.
Okay.
And there's a, you know, and even if you don't do that, we still sort of force this timer to be like, okay, you do want to pull money out of your savers. You have to wait 3 hours. Just think about it. And we should see a lot of people who will, unlock they'll start the unlock. 3 hours later, they'll lock it again without pulling money out because they've had time to sort of be like, actually, I don't need.
What the hell was I thinking? I don't need to spend this money.
Exactly.
Close the vault.
We're adding, this is where like, add friction to the things that you don't want to do
Yes.
and remove friction from the things that you do want to do.
And we've done the exact opposite when it comes to spending. We've made it so friggin' easy to spend in your PJs late at night. And then we've made it, in a lot of instances, really hard to stick to your long-term goals. So it's really, like this is not a sponsored ep from Up, although maybe it should be. But it's so exciting because this is the innovation that I think we've needed for such a long time, both the accountability component, but also the engagement and the gamification. And I think also just the feedback of excitement, like, oh my gosh, I'm on a streak, or oh my gosh, I've done the 1 year challenge, or like I'm actually doing it, or I'm thinking ahead and I'm changing my behavioral habits here.
Yeah.
And you can see it. You can actually see that progress, which when you open a bank account, you just see a number. Most of us don't emotionally connect with that.
Yeah.
Well done. This is awesome. I know that we're going to run out of time because I love long podcasts that were meant to be short podcasts. I kind of specialize. What does this mean for kids? So if you've got a child, a grandchild, a niece, a nephew, a nibbling, someone, it just means like a general term, I believe.
Yeah.
It is very likely that they are not going to interact with cash much in their life. How do we help them? Do you have any insights on how we can help them learn more about money, interact with money, save better, just in general as we move to more? Well, we're already in, I would say, a pretty much cashless society. Like, how do people navigate that with little people in their life?
It's a good question. I mean, so Up is restricted to sort of 16 and up.
Yeah.
So we haven't really done much in like the kids space. But I think in general, the same sort of principles that apply to adults apply to kids.
Yeah.
But if anything, the gamification is more important, or at least it's the thing that they're more familiar with.
Or more interested in.
Or more, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But it's also, you've got to be really careful because young people, gamification can be used to really sort of like addict people.
Yes.
And you definitely don't want to be using it to sort of encourage kids to, I don't know, to spend more or to so you got to be very mindful about it. But all the same principles apply. Having visible progress, like sort of small goals, but like that, that sort of show you that you are progressing, rather than like this big, insurmountable sort of thing. Break things down into small pieces. Keep the delight and the fun in there.
Yes.
Yeah.
I also think, it doesn't have to be like, we're obviously talking about tech capabilities, but some of these concepts of gamification, they can exist in the normal real world as well. Like if your child doesn't have a separate savings account, or you know that they're saving up literal money in a piggy bank because that's how you as a family choose to do it, like make a little goals board with them and they get to tick off as they add more money. Like there are ways that we can do it. I've also seen a lot of instances where, you know, the child is, I want this and I want that and I want this and I want that and I'm going to have an absolute meltdown if you don't give it to me. And in my experience, giving a child cash and then saying to them, this is all you have, what are you going to do with it? There are really interesting behavioral changes when they become super protective and they're like, I don't know if they want to part for that thing. I'm not quite sure. So I think that, you know,
finding like ways to sort of encourage them to make those trade-offs, like to just to learn that skill of like, hey, given some finite resource, I need to really allocate this. I'm using words that you
maybe don't explain it in that way,
but like,
sure,
you know, like
age appropriate language.
But honestly, like if I were ever to work on something like this, it would be like what are the things that as an adult we struggle with, like, you know, overspending, like, you know, paying your bills, like sort of just like planning ahead, all of these things, and then finding ways to sort of bring that down and like to the level of like, I don't know, your chores or your sort of like, I don't know, do you want to buy your Robux or your V-Bucks versus your, do you know what those are?
No, I have no idea, but my niece has become obsessed with Labubus.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
She's upset.
Her super expensive.
I don't know. Yeah. Her 6th birthday is on Sunday, where we're going to a birthday party, and it's a Labubu birthday party. And she's asked me for a Labubu. And I was like, if you think I'm buying you another Labubu, you are going to have the saddest little reaction on Sunday because you're not getting a Labubu. She is getting money into an investment account. So I opened an investment account for her when she was born. Yeah. And every year I write her a letter on her birthday. Throughout the year, I keep a notes app of all the ridiculous and hilarious things that we do together that she says that happens. And so I write her a letter, and I got her a box, handmade when she was born. And so she's going to turn into a teenager and go through her like angry angst stage and probably burn all the letters. I think it gives you a lot of opportunity to just remember that you don't have to buy into all of the hype of, you know, the latest and greatest fad. But if she did want it, there's one thing that she has done for Sunday. Well, my brother and my sister-in-law have done. You bring $5. They're like, please don't bring a gift. If you really are hell-bent on bringing gifts, we're doing a $5. We're doing a $5 party, I think it's called. So if you want to bring $5, which I think is in cash, my niece is going to save up to buy something, probably a Labubu or Pokemon. She's absolutely obsessed with Pokemon. Nice. You guys would have a great time chatting about Pokemon. She knows all the things. But I'm really interested to watch her get that cash and then trying to figure out as a 6-year-old, what do I want to do here with this? Yeah. Can I interview a 6-year-old niece for my podcast to be like, how are you going?
Don't you make the rules? Like,
I think so, which is scary in itself. We've had just a small guest in the background doing, are you like a dancer? Glenn's just offering paid dancing. I'm not going to pay him because he didn't do a great job, but dancing in the background. Brian, thank you. I could pick your brain, excuse the pun, for a really long time, but I'm really excited to see what y'all are up to over there. I think there's a huge opportunity for people to engage with money in a really different way. And this idea that tapping it doesn't have to be this invisible thing that we disconnect with. There are ways and there are products now that are coming out, and people like you who are working on exciting stuff to make us more connected. If people want to learn more about what you do, how you work, all the things, do they just go to Up? Yeah, I mean, check out the Up website. I mean, I'm not really, I kind of avoid socials, but I do have a LinkedIn. I do have a Blue Sky, but I don't really, I don't know. I just sort of shit post on there. Basically like just leave you alone? To get to just do your thing? I mean, I'm happy to, if you want to buy me a coffee, like, sure. I'm always down for coffee. But yeah, check out the Up website. Yep. This has been super, super interesting. Thank you so much for your time. Thanks for inviting me. Thank you. If you have enjoyed today's episode, let us know. What should I have asked having a neuroscientist that I didn't? You know, I love constructive feedback. Jess Brady _financial advice on the gram. You know what to do. Go now and be financially fierce. Bye. Bye. Bye.
We acknowledge the traditional owners of country throughout Australia. We pay our respects to elders past and present. Any advice is general financial advice only, which does not take into account your objectives, financial situation, or needs. Because of that, you should consider if the advice is appropriate to you and your needs before acting on the information. If you do choose to buy a financial product, read the product disclosure statement, PDS, and target market determination, TMD, and obtain appropriate financial advice tailored to your needs. Jessica Brady is an authorised representative of Paragem Pty Ltd, authorised representative number 1259972, AFSL 297276, ABN 16108571875, corporate authorised representative number 1305567.